Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to my first video featuring PlayStation VR2. And in this one I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how to trick the game or kind of hack the game into allowing you to change your seating position when you are in VR. Unfortunately at the moment there is absolutely zero options for changing your seating position in VR. Very kind of polyphony digital kind of thing, if you like. They give us this state-of-the-art headset, that's Digital Foundry's words. They give us this incredibly immersive VR experience in the game, but they don't give us any options to kind of just do some fine tuning, some fine adjustments to get your kind of seating position ideally the way you want it. We don't even have the options that we have in non-VR, limited as they are, in cockpit view, to change any of these four things in terms of height or the depth, which would be quite handy to have this kind of height and depth option available. But as it stands at the moment, at launch, there's none of these options available. Now somebody kind of highlighted to me that there is a kind of way to trick the game into changing your seating position. We did a VR stream earlier on today. We gave it a little bit of a test and it's actually quite effective. You may well be aware of it, but if not, and you maybe just want to kind of fine tune your seating position in VR, here's a quick little trick, hack, tip, whatever you want to call it, and how to do it. Now I'll need to go into the VR part of the game now, so I shall be back in just a wee minute. So here we are folks, we're in the Ford GT at Trial Mountain, we're in VR here. I chose this car because it has quite a limited cockpit view, and I would say for me personally, sitting a little bit low in the car for my liking. So, but in general, most of the cars I've sat in, you know, the seating position is pretty much spot on. However, let's just say you want to move yourself further away from the wheel. Kind of sit back a little bit and maybe bring your mirrors a little bit more into your peripheral vision. So it's pretty simple. All you need to do is kind of do the opposite of what you want to do. So if you want to kind of move yourself back in the seat, then simply just move yourself forward a little bit, and then you press the options button, hold it down, it resets, then you continue, and then if you return back to your seating position, you can see we are quite a bit further away from the steering wheel. So mirrors are a little bit easier to see. I can't actually see it now, I've got that kind of head thing in my way. Now there is a kind of set limit as to how far you can move away from the wheel or how close you can move yourself to the wheel, so you can't move yourself like onto the dashboard or anything, or you know, go and sit in the back seats of any of the road cars. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to return it back just by holding down the options button again. You see it kind of snap into place, continue, and we are back in the natural seating position. So let's just say I want to, as I said, I feel like I'm sitting a little bit low in this car. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of sit up like this. In fact, that's a lie. No, what I want to do is actually move myself up in the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of squat down in my seat. As I said, hold down the options button. You're basically doing the opposite of what you want it to do in game. So I wanted to sit a little bit higher, I squat down in the seat, press continue, return this to my natural normal sitting position, and you can see we have moved up in the car. You can see a little bit more over the steering wheel, I can see the kind of some of the dials there, and I can see a little bit more of the bonnet of the car. So let's just say I want to now move a little bit forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, obviously I'm kind of limited as to how much I can do in here, but I'm pushing my head back against the wheel, hold down the options button again, and we are a little bit closer to the steering wheel, as you can see. So that is pretty much it, you know, basically do the opposite in your seat, you know, so sit in your natural seating position, press the options button, that gives you, that's just the general position of what you want to do, and say I want to move a little bit higher and I want to move a little bit forward. So I'm going to do the opposite of what I said. I'm going to sit down in my seat a little bit, push my head back as far as I can. Obviously you're kind of limited in a seat like this. Push it back as far as I can. Press that button there. Press continue. Return to my normal seating position. And there you go. I'm a little bit closer to the wheel. And I am a little bit higher in the cockpit. And this is a much more comfortable kind of driving position for me in this car compared to the default natural one. So yeah, there you go. It's just a very quick little hack on what to do. Initially in the VR stream that I did earlier on, I was doing the same thing but using the pass through button. But you don't need to do that. You just need to press the options button on your controller or on your wheel, if you know where it is on your wheel. I think it's that one there on my wheel. I'll just try it again. There we go, it is there. And we have returned back to the default positions. I'll just show you that again. I want to sit a little bit closer to the wheel, and I want to be a little bit higher. So to move closer, I move back. To move up, I move down. Press the options button, hold it in. Hit X. Return back to my comfortable normal position, my natural seating position. I'm closer into the wheel and I'm sitting a little bit higher. So there you go, folks. Very quick tip tutorial video on how to kind of trick the game into letting you move in your seating position. I will say that for the vast majority of cars, the natural seating position is pretty much where I would like it, where I'd want it. But for some of the cars, and this was a good example, this Ford GT race car, I didn't feel that the driving position was very natural, and so the person that passed this kind of tip on to me in my live stream, grateful to them for letting me know that this was something you can do. And yeah, basically do the opposite of what you want, sit in that position, press the options button, then return back to your normal seating position, and it will kind of move you around about in the seat. So if that's been useful for you folks, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. I shall catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.